Paul, good morning to you. Let's get this point right about the European Union. This is a thing now that people are blaming on Brexit. But Britain was never in Schengen, never wanted to be in Schengen, which is the arrangement of passportless travel within the European Union. And the measures that are being applied are for non-Schengen countries, aren't they? I'm just thinking that actually blaming this on Brexit cannot be correct.
Yes, I think in particular this case is not pure Brexit. There are others which we can talk about, namely staffing issues, as Will mentioned. But undoubtedly this is going to affect several countries. If you're coming from the US, for example, into the EU, you will have to apply for this visa. And in a way, it's no different to what the US has done to us and to Europe. At the moment, if I want to go to the US, I have to apply for an ESTA. I have to get that visa. I can do it online for about £15. It's not overly expensive. So the EU is putting in place a similar measure.
From when?
From, at the moment, the latest date we have is November. It may slip again. They're having issues putting in the technology, making sure it works effectively, so it could well slip into 24, but at the moment, November.
And a single accreditation for all of the European Union. Any idea how long its validity would be? An ESTA for the US is 2 years.
Correct, and similar. So the EU is applying the same. It says it should be 2 years.
Quite a nice way of getting money out of it, isn't it?
Well, it is. And where's that money going to go? That's the big question. Will it go on better infrastructure to prevent us having to queue for so long? At the moment, many British holidaymakers are seeing long queues when they arrive in European countries because they're having to be manually processed, the passport's having to be stamped. It adds an extra 30 seconds to each manual processing.
Whereas European Union passengers coming into British airports, I've noticed, go through our e-gates.
Yes, they can. In most cases, there are some instances where they have to go through manual processing as well. But a lot of EU citizens actually don't have a passport. They have an identity card that they can use across the EU, so they have to apply for a passport to come into the UK.
And what about biometrics? And what do biometrics mean? Do they mean fingerprints or something else?
Well, all of us in the travel sector want a more seamless way of travelling. We see it in countries abroad, especially the Middle East, who have very effective biometrics, where you can even have your eyes shown to a camera and you'll be passed through without having to show your passport. We're seeing more of that come into the UK as well as the EU. Biometrics generally are a good thing. They speed up the processing time. It does, of course, mean your fingerprints will lie on some database somewhere in Europe where previously they may not have been, but it seems to work pretty well with the US, and I'm sure the same will apply in the EU.
But let's say it's pupil recognition or fingerprints, either one. So that is relating you to an application that you've made, relating you to a document that you've obtained in some way.
It's used for two reasons. One, it could be you've applied online for a visa or an entry permit of some kind to the country you're going to, and they're matching the two up. But secondly, they're keeping your details on file and building up a very useful picture of who is entering the country and why and for how long. The beauty of it, and it's already being used in airports like Dubai in the Middle East, is that you can actually use those biometrics to help tell you to a message to your mobile phone when to go to the gate. And that sort of thing is very useful because it means you're more likely to catch your plane and not miss it.